Anyways, we have someone that's going to come here, to speak to us about supercharging our careers with social currency. And he is no other than Abati Adewale, also known as Ace. Yes, exactly. Remain seated. He's also known as Ace. He's a web developer from Lagos, Nigeria. He currently works as a senior developer advocate at Code Sandbox. He's extremely passionate about open source and community building, an avid gamer, and shares his developer experience through his social media, YouTube, and websites, acekyd.com. So please, put your hands together for Adewale Abati.
Hello. I have to first apologize. I did not think the crowd would be this much for my talk, because I thought it was going to be a small space. But I'm super excited to see everyone. And I'm also glad my talk is actually following Ease. Is anyone else inspired, please? Signify. Awesome. So my talk is kind of, now at least after I've seen it, probably going to piggyback on Ease a little bit. So I hope you guys have also taken notes. My talk for today is supercharging your career with social currency. And while I was preparing for this talk, I realized that this is actually so wide that there's no way I'm going to finish it in 10 minutes. But I tried as much as possible. I probably spent like 4 hours trying to reduce it into something that will be 10 minutes. It's probably the most prepared I've been for a talk, which is weird because it's just 10 minutes. Yeah, but my first question is actually going to be, what is a career, right? What does it mean to have a career? And I don't know, is the mic personal? I'd just like to ask one person, just so I don't just say my own thoughts, just get a little bit feedback from you guys. Can anyone? Okay. Does anyone want to answer what they think a career is? Anyone? Oh boy. Okay, thank you.
What you do for a living?
What you do for a living? Okay, that's pretty spot on. My own approach to what a career is a journey. You start up somewhere and then you keep progressing, new milestones, new opportunities, new communities, new companies, new organizations, new skills. Like, it's a journey over a period of time in a particular industry or more, right? So what does it mean to supercharge this? Okay. What is social currency? I think that's the next question. When we think of currency, we think about something that we can use to exchange value. Or we think about, can I give you 100 naira or do I give you $100? You automatically perceive, even though both of them are like money, both of them are currency, you automatically perceive one value over the other, even though numerically they are both 100, right? So when you think about social currency, you realize that social currency varies across individuals, across realms, and is basically how people perceive you. So now the reason I asked the question, what do you think a career is that a lot of people would think career is very specific to what work you do, and dismiss the part that public relations, personal relationships, and everything tie into what your career is. The people you work with, the people you collaborate with, the people you are solving problems for, your users, whatever the case is, right? Personal relationships definitely transfer into what your career would look like. Oh, sorry, I forgot I defined it. Sorry. So yeah, according to Wikipedia, social currency refers to the actual and potential resources from presence in social networks, communities, including both digital and offline. And that's the key part I want to focus on today. A little bit about me. Earlier this week, I actually shared a tweet that I have spent 10 years in tech, which is actually ridiculous because I remember when I first started learning how to code, right? Thank you. Sorry? How old am I? It's actually public information. One Google search and you'll find it. So a quick summary of what my journey has been, what my career has been to this point. I started professionally interning at hotels.ng. Everyone knows hotels.ng, of course. Yes. Then I freelanced for multiple startups, projects. Some of them still exist today. Some of them have packed up. Software engineer at a couple of companies, iFreelance, Seamless HR, to name a few. And then I moved on to be a developer advocate at Ingressive, Flutterwave, and now Code Sandbox. The rest is story. So the reason I'm summarizing this is that I want to give a point. In all of these jobs, of course, I sent a tweet out to intern at hotels.ng, But for all of my other projects and everything, I have only ever applied to one company that I eventually worked for. I've applied to other companies, so don't get me wrong, like apply, not get it, and other stuff. But for the companies I actually work for, Code Sandbox, which is my current employer, is the only one I actually applied for right off the bat and then went through the interview. Every other single one, either saw my GitHub profile or got referred by somebody else or saw my work somewhere like, oh, can you do this for us? Or, do you get what I'm trying to say with this like explanation? Is I'm either initially contacted because they had seen my work somewhere or someone else had referred like, oh, they know this person, they'll probably be able to do it. All of them, except my first internship and my current job. And I think that is wild, right? And the only reason I can explain that, or the only explanation I can give to that is social currency. And when we think about social currency, we think about, oh, social media. That's default, right? Social media. Oh, people are loud on Twitter, they're loud on YouTube, they make videos, blah, blah, blah. Some people focus on just talking, where is the work they are doing, blah, blah, blah. That's digital. But the part that we rarely ever think about is the offline one. Because let's think about it. I give like 10 talks a year, right? But nobody here has worked with me. And then you're in a room, and someone's like, oh, who is that? Do you know anybody that builds web applications, for example? You might say, oh, yes, I've seen this guy online, right? And then they ask, have you worked with him before? No. Have you seen his work? No. Okay, let's include him because of the currency he actually has publicly, but no one has worked with this person. No one has seen this person's work, right? And that starts to translate that even though the public currency that you have can get you into some doors, at the end of the day, the offline interactions would also be the one that will keep you there. Does that make sense? Okay. So explain the public place. This works basically like mass media. I'm talking here, a lot of people probably hear my name for the first time. They have no idea what I do, right? But they've heard my name. If they see somewhere else, they're like, oh, this person spoke at Oscar, right? But they don't know what I do, but they've heard my name. So if they see somewhere else, they can connect the dots, right? That's how mass media works. I just reach a ton of people all at once. Works on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever the case. But then, like I said, yeah, a lot of people can be reached, but a lesser percentage can show interest. Probably, I don't know how many percentage of people are just pressing their phone and not even listening to me, which is fine, right? Because it works that way. But then, even fewer would then go out of you to say, oh, I have worked with this person before. I can collaborate with this person. I can recommend this person. I don't know if Prosper is here, but he wrote an article recently that said, who is speaking for you, right? So the only people that can confidently be their chairs to speak for me are people that have referred me, but people I had worked with or had seen my work, even if I've not had any connections with them. But they had seen my work, appreciated the quality of it, and said, okay, I can recommend this thing for you, while also maintaining my own integrity. I don't know how much time I have, so I'm just going to push through. So how does the private space work? This one leverages on direct interaction that a lot of people tend to overlook. There are a couple of people that are founders in the Lagos, let me put it that way, Nigerian startup ecosystem, that I feel like if I need a job today, I can just go to meet them if there's an opening and I'll get the job. Simply because, not clout, simply because I have worked with them before and they know what I can do, right? It's a direct interaction, it's a direct collaboration, a direct experience where personal experiences and the word of mouth go a long way. There are a lot of people here that were once Ingressive Campus ambassadors. Is anyone here Ingressive Campus ambassador? Amazing. So the first time I got that job, I got referred by someone I freelanced to like 2-3 years before I got that job. And that job was also a life changer for me. I don't know if what I'm trying to say here makes sense. But because I worked with that person was able to directly see my work, my values, so to speak. They were able to refer me to another place that I can also provide additional value. So even though you might reach lesser people offline in terms of direct collaborations, these interactions tend to have a larger impact than just mass media. But I'm not trying to say one is better than the other. I'm saying they work together, and you should not just say your own social currency is tied to the things you do on Twitter or making noise. The people you work with in your office today, if they go to another bigger company, can they recommend you? Are you good enough for them to recommend? Can they get you to advance your career because they have worked with you before? That social currency, even if you're not a public person, is what this entire talk wants you to recognize and work on. Like, that's basically what I want you to get. The people you are working with today, can they speak for you? Are you doing good work, or are you just faffing? Like, you're paying me like chicken change, so I'm just going to do chicken change. I'm not saying, there was recently a talk about toxic bosses. I'm not saying you should overwork or do more than yourself. But for the work that you are doing yourself, are you proud of your work? That is it. That's my mantra. I do work that I'm proud of. If I'm not comfortable, I bounce. Do you get me? So bottom line is basically, in respect to your career, social currency is going to boil down to how people perceive the work you do. On Twitter, social media, blah, 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 they see it, they perceive it a certain way, but they don't have a direct interaction with it. That has its own value, because it might get you some places that you might not be able to get to without that visibility, but it's still going to have, it's still going to carry a lot of weight when it comes to who has directly worked with you and who can speak proudly and confidently about you. So once again, the summary is that regardless if you're a public person, you're a private person, social currency matters to you. Don't just dismiss it like, oh, is it just tied to making noise or whatever. Do you guys get what I'm trying to say? Are you guys following? Thank you. So yeah, summary again. Public or private, the quality of the work you put in yields returns that you actually desire. So if you're going to walk away with anything today, whether you share your stuff on social media like you did, or whether you do good work in your space, everybody's going to grow at their own particular rate. But you can know that anywhere you go to today, you are proud of the work you've done in the past. And if anyone has to recommend you, your confidence is going to be a positive view that will impact your career positively. And just to be cheesy, that's going to supercharge your career. So thank you very much. I think that's pretty much it.